What up, baby?
Hello.
Welcome to Cool Ranch Corner, episode 49. Next episode is the Big 5-0.
Sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, baby. I am too. We're gonna have some fun guests. Um, I've got a ton of stuff to talk about, as far as like life updates, because it's been a very eventful week. So I guess we'll get right into it. Obviously, changed my camera angle a little bit, tried to make it a little more personal. I actually have an Elgato, like a really nice Elgato mount thing showing up that will allow me to get it even lower, so you can see the posters, because I really want you to be able to see the posters and stuff. Right now I have the camera like tilted down because the tripod is too tall to like get it lower. You'll see what I mean when it shows up. But I got the nice Elgato mount that it lets you like you'll see it'll be really crazy how I can change it, or I guess you won't see, you'll just see the camera angle. Whatever, anyways, I let me know if you like the camera angle. I think it's more personal, you can see me better, I'm not so far away looking. It's definitely going to be better for meetings on my end. So now that I'm not streaming, I don't have to have it to where, super wide and then I crop in and all that nonsense. I have been chugging away at my script. I had some auditions this week, so I didn't get to write as much as I wanted, but that's always, a good reason to not be able to get to writing, is because you're working on a character. But I'm on page 25 of 80 as far as the rewrites go. So that means the first 25 pages I could basically show to a producer and be like, it's still a work in progress, but this is basically it. So it's a good feeling to be that far along. I'm gonna try and get 5 more pages tonight before I possibly go to the movies. Or Giancarlo, he texted me this. I think he texted the group chat last night, but it was like 3 in the morning, and then he texted me specifically at like 7 and was like, "Dude, I broke up with my girlfriend." So I'm like, bro, we gotta go like do something. That's rough. So I hope Giancarlo's doing all right if he's listening to this, man. Um, we've all been there. That's not a fun time, but you'll get through it. Shifting content to more elaborate skits and videos. So I don't know if people have noticed, but on TikTok, I've actually only been posting 1 or 2 times on the main and 1 time on the second account. And on YouTube, I still post 5 times a day, so those other 2 videos are throwbacks. But I'm not really going to be posting throwbacks on TikTok unless I'm on a film set and I just need to get something out that day. But the ideas of the videos I am making are more elaborate, like the crumble cookie one I just did, or the skit that I did with Giancarlo and Jorge, which, if you have not seen it yet, it's called The Last Can of Blue Bomber Slushy, and it's a blast. It's currently number 2 in the top 10 videos that I've posted that are long form. So if we can get that to number 1 after this episode, that'd be sick, man. That's gonna be my goal, is to try and top each time. I'm working on a skit right now, editing phase, to hopefully get up next week. That's about Giancarlo joining a dating app. So that's fun.
Jesus.
But I did everything myself on this 2-minute skit that we dropped, the Blue Bomber Slushy one. Like, I cleaned up the audio myself. I did. I honestly feel like this is a good way for me to sharpen up my editing skills for making my film. So support that stuff, because I'm trying to shift more towards more cinematic content, so that when a producer goes and looks at my YouTube, they see all these skits and short films and stuff, and they go, "Oh yeah, this guy's really just making films." I tried banana maple French toast, and goddamn, that shit is busted, bro.
Yep,
It's
dude.
so good, man. It's so good. Code Danny D for Fit Butters.
That stuff's
So
really good,
yeah,
man.
it's really good. I have found myself eating that one and Rory's Cookie Monster Madness because it's Oreos the most.
Hmm.
So I think those 2 flavors, and the Fruity Pebble and Cocoa Pebbles. Whoa, no, it's Cocoa Pebbles in there, not Cokie. Those are my favorite. That my favorite. The monster cookie is fine. It's just M&Ms, so it's kind of like, I don't know. Regular M&Ms are it's just chocolate, so it's nothing crazy. But if you want something really chocolatey, the Cocoa Pebbles is the way to go. Let's see. I saw Beetlejuice 2 the other night, and it's fine. It's
Yeah,
not like
I didn't
something
think
I
it was
would
gonna be anything
recommend going to
crazy.
see, but Like it's not something I'm like you have to go see it. It's definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of the original. But there are like whole characters that feel like they just don't really have an effect on the story at all.
Mhm.
Like unfortunately, Willem Dafoe is one of those characters. But he looked like he was having fun, and the practical effects were awesome. But I also think something about being shot in like 6K digital just makes it not look as good sometimes. And then there's one sequence that's like all CGI basically, except for like one aspect of it. I don't want to spoil it because it's like my favorite sequence of the movie. It's very early in the beginning where it's just the CGI, because there's so much practical effects, stands out more, But the soundtrack is pretty pretty awesome. I think the soundtrack was my favorite thing about it besides Michael Keaton. Because Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is like basically the main reason to go see it. Um, yeah, I'd be curious to hear what people think about it in the comments. So I'm posting my review on TikTok tonight. So I give it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. So I think it's well made. It's just a little convoluted, but otherwise entertaining. Like my Letterboxd review was literally like a troll, like not a troll one, but just like a goofy one. Like, it is what it is. So I'm just gonna make something funny. I said that the best part was when Michael Keaton showed up and everybody in the auditorium's mouths got sewed shut, and it made it hard to eat popcorn, but it was still a fun time. So I don't know. Just me being goofy. Pollo Loco was selected by Louisville's International Festival of Film. So a little bit more gas left in the tank, I guess. I really didn't expect the last 10 festivals to get any selections because I'm literally saying on social media and everything now that it's dropping on October 1st. So we have 9 more notifications to go, but if you live in the Louisville area, I'll have more details. I think it's October 10th or something. So it'll already be on YouTube, but if you want to go support it on the big screen, I will definitely release some more details on that later. That's everything I had as far as life updates, though.
Well, I played a little bit more of the beta this weekend, and it's still fun, but it's much sweatier. Like it seems like everybody who didn't get to play last weekend is like just doing all the research they can to be like in the meta, I guess. And so everybody's running around with MP5s and just sliding
Me
left and right.
included.
Dude, the thing that I've been seeing the most, and this pisses me off, so many people are using shotguns this time around. It's like every single match, there's like at least 2 or 3 people who are using shotguns and like diving like around corners and just getting one shots. It's so stupid. I've seen like a million clips of it too. It's happening to everybody.
When I've used shotguns, I feel like the only time it's exciting and fun is when I like happen to catch somebody reloading or something, so I can really like boom
Yeah.
one shot them up close. Otherwise, I hate the shotguns. I feel like the damage fall off is ridiculous, and I get it. It's because they have to balance the guns somehow. But in real life, you could shoot somebody with a shotgun from like 50 yards away and they're probably dead. You know what I mean? Like shotguns are nuts. And in this game, it's like if they're not 10 feet in front of you, you got to at least shoot them twice. And so that aspect of the shotguns has always annoyed me, but that's kind of always been Call of Duty. So
I
it
think
is what it is.
it's
But
just been exacerbated by the fact that people can dive around corners and stuff like that. And so like you'll just
yeah,
be running along in the end where you just die and you're like, what happened? Like why am I dead now? And it's just you look at the kill cam, there's just this dude just flying around a corner and just you're gone. So
I saw Jeff talking about it, and I've noticed it myself. I guess there's a perk that's broken to where it causes like this black
the
gray
shadow
shadow.
thing,
Yeah, so you
it's
can see when somebody's behind something.
it's either a perk or it's like a graphical setting. I think he was saying he has his shadows as low as possible, and it might be causing that.
I think my shadows are on medium. So
I don't know what causes it. I think I have seen it as well, but
it's only certain people that I see it. Like I'm like, oh, it's always that one guy, and it's because he's using a perk or something that like
oh,
triggers it.
what level are
At
you
least
right
I
now?
think so. 26.
I think I'm at 28.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably get up to 30 by tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Gotta finish it off. But top level's 30. I will say I love the Babylon map. It's like this game's shipment. I love it. And
Yes,
some people don't, but
but
I do.
hard point on that map is rough.
Domination's the best on it.
Domination, the spawns are jacked up on that map, so like you'll if someone captures A and B, C has like the spawn set up where people spawn in this specific little like it's like a small little building. It's like just one room, and you can just spawn camp and just kill them. Like everybody who spawns there, you just get a shot off. And the only reason why I
Mm.
haven't been doing that is because I'm trying to level up two guns. I'm trying to level up the MP5 and the is it the AMIs? It's the other assault rifle. It's not the AK or the M4. Um, and that one, it's taking forever to get extended mags. My M4 has the highest level of extended mags, so I could just be sitting there and just spraying, but I just haven't done that yet because it feels cheap too.
I have you used Sleeper Agent yet?
No, I
So
saw a clip of it today though. I was kind of tempted to hop on and use it.
yeah, it's fun. Just make sure you use a suppressed weapon, because if you don't, then like it reveals you. But
Oh,
basically, yeah, basically what happens is like you appear as like a teammate.
right.
And so if you have a suppressed weapon, you could just get into a spawn and start picking people off, and they don't even realize that like you're the one doing it. So that has been really fun, but it's also really frustrating because it's balanced well in the sense that it takes a long time to acquire it, because if not, then like it would be a dumpster fire. But there's been a couple times where I get it and I use it at the wrong time and get killed right away, and it's like, damn, well that was a waste of that build
Yeah.
upgrade. But gunfighter just unlocked that, and so my C9 is like level 23, just decked out. It allows you to get 3 attachments extra on your primary, so that's awesome. Couple of new score streaks like chopper gunners in there. I've been using interceptor because there's some perks that you can use. Like they added one that allows you to get those support score streaks
Yeah,
quicker. Oh,
I only ever got the interceptor once, and then I was like, wait, it says I can't use it, and it's because I didn't realize it's for taking out stuff in the
yeah.
sky, isn't it?
I mean, I would rather it tell you you can't use it than you use it by accident and like waste it. You know?
Yeah, but I guess it wasn't clear that that's what that was. I thought it was like a sort of like a bomber run or something like that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool, and
I
then didn't
used it
use
on
it.
a guy's chopper gunner, and I'm sure he was really pissed because
Yeah.
he just got it and boom, I shot that shit down.
I
So
I will say I found something in the game that kind of made me a little mad, and it was like as far as like the game itself goes, not just how people play it, but um, so that gunfighter wild card.
mhm.
If let's say you have the overkill wild card setup, where it's the one where you have two primaries, um, I put a sixth attachment on my primary by accident because I was trying to replace like a grip with extended mags, and it straight up like deleted my secondary primary.
Ooh, that's annoying.
Yeah, and so I had to go and reselect the wild card, and then it was like, oh well, you can't do that because you have six attachments on your primary. So I had to go and remove that attachment that I didn't need, then put the wild card back on, then add my C9 back, and then put all the attachments on. And I was like, there wasn't
Yeah.
even a menu that said like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Meanwhile, if you try and put an extra attachment on your secondary primary when you have overkill, it'll say, hey, you can't do that because you already have five attachments.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was by accident or a bug or something, but have you noticed that if you deck out like like I noticed it with the pistol. I decked out this pistol and then I made another class, or like I edited one of my other classes, and when I selected the pistol, it put all those same attachments on it automatically.
Oh, that's build. That's a build. So
Okay.
that's the thing. I think
I
what
did
was
it
it?
by accident.
I don't know if it was
I was like,
Jev.
that's dope. I like that.
I don't know if it was Jev or Merc Music or I don't know, but there was somebody who was saying that I think it was Merc Music. They're saying they were trying to set up three different builds for a sniper, and it like applied the same attachments to every single class whenever they were trying to use it. It was like really confusing. Um,
Hmm.
so I think that's normal. Uh,
Okay. I mean, what I would
yeah.
I was fine with it saving my time when I went to go equip that pistol on another class, but I
Yeah,
can see
I
how
could
it could
see.
be annoying in other
Yeah.
circumstances.
I
But I'm sure it's something you could just not use if you don't want to. You just got to be aware of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that sleeper agent um field
It's fun
upgrade
when it
because
works. When it works, it's fun.
I saw a clip of some dude running around with a knife and just stabbing people. Like I think he got like
Yeah.
4 kills, and then the fifth one he died. And I was like, oh my god, he got a good streak there though. So I
Someone
I
grabbed me.
I do want to say really quick, my biggest complaint from last weekend, not enough perks. There's perks now. Like there's
Yeah.
more perks that are actually gonna like
It came with the levels.
Scavenger's back.
Yeah.
And so I set that thing up, and
I assume
did
there's
what I'm
more
gonna do.
coming.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
do we know what the max level is going to be? I'm assuming it's going to be 55. It's
I
usually
think so.
55.
I think it's 55, and then there's gonna be more score streaks, more guns. Um, there's some. Is it like the Tanto 22 or something like that? It's a new SMG. People are saying that
I think so.
they're
Yeah.
pretty sure that one's gonna be good when everyone unlocks it. And I'm thinking it's a 22. There's no way it's gonna be good.
I was gonna say I got grabbed as a hostage this morning, and the guy knew who I was. He was like, "Danny Dorito, I got your ass," and then he was like, he's like, "I got you, bitch," and then my teammate killed him.
Well, so you have to have your voice chat on for that, right?
hmm
I need to turn it back on. It's just I hate when I get into a lobby and you hear somebody playing music and you're like, dude, like it's 2024. Do you not have headphones? like come on, dude.
Honestly, I mean it is the beta, but I haven't heard as many people talking in the beta,
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
I've had the chat on the whole time.
Well,
And if somebody does get annoying, I just mute them real quick. It's really quick.
yeah. I think I think since probably Cold War, I've had it set to where it just mutes everybody automatically. Because I just
Yeah,
like if I'm gonna be playing with somebody, I'm gonna be in like a Discord call with them. I'm not gonna be
yeah.
talking to them in the lobby chat. Because you'll have that happen where like you have like a party that's talking in the lobby, and like they're having a good time, but then it's like, ah man, like I feel like I can't talk because they're talking.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, before we move on from Call of Duty talk, I played with like 5 of the patrons this morning, and it was an absolute blast. So if you guys want to game with us when the full game drops, definitely join the Patreon. It's $3 to game with us, and we do it every weekend unless I've got something going on.
yeah,
I will say I did accidentally this morning. I copied and pasted from like the first one I saw, and the time was wrong. So everybody was like waiting for me for like an hour in the Discord, and I showed up and I was like, "Oh shit, my bad, guys. I thought it, I thought I put it
They're
for
like,
10 a.m.
did
PST and it's
did
for
he
9 a.m."
die on the
They
way
were all
over?
cool with it though. They were
Um,
just playing the beta while they waited, so it was fine. But
Well,
I felt bad.
So what I want to just make this very clear. When the full game comes out, what I want to do is I want to have like a private match that we could do where it's just 6v6, and it could literally be like Team Chris versus Team Danny.
Yeah, that would be
That
hilarious,
would be
man.
sick, dude. And it could be S&D, it could be just straight up regular team deathmatch.
I'm gonna mess with you too. I'm gonna like have my team all do one
I-
thing or.
I had an idea for a mode. Okay, like and this is just a random thing. I was thinking about this last night when I was trying to sleep because I had trouble sleeping. But here's the idea for the mode, right? So it's like a free for all mode, but you have a specific target you have to go after, and
Yeah.
someone else, like you're their target. So like it goes in a loop. So everyone has a target they're going for, but they're being targeted by somebody else, and so whoever can kill their target the most times wins, right? I don't know if that would work well, but just like I think that'd be sick. I don't know how like you'd be able to set that up in like a private match, but like
Right.
that'd be cool because then and like the thing is it would be a thing of like you can't kill anyone else's target, but you can kill the guy who's trying to come after you, and so you just be like getting chased the whole time.
I'm excited for Infected and Prop Hunt. They were talking about Prop Hunt this morning in the Discord, and I was like, yeah, that is a fun mode that like
One in the
has
chamber.
become more popular. One in the chamber.
is like my favorite. Which,
I don't know if there's gonna be a crossbow in this, but sticks and stones.
Ooh, sticks and stones, dude.
One in the chamber is still my favorite though. One in the chamber was always like when you like miss your shot, you only had that one bullet. It's like, oh no, and you totally, But anyways,
Yeah.
we should move on from Call of Duty talk because a lot of people are like, oh, gee, oh, brother, let's get.
I don't know,
um,
man. I could talk about Call of Duty all day, but
yeah.
so it's still going to be another game topic though. The Minecraft movie trailer dropped and it was a piece of garbage. It's
Look, it's a teaser trailer. I thought the music choice was great because it was the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour, which is like such a
Yeah.
badass song. Um, and it gave this like almost psychedelic vibe to it because of the visuals that it has. Because I thought the visuals were the best thing about it. I think it looks cool, but being that it's a teaser, we didn't get a lot of dialogue, and the dialogue that we did get was super like corny, you know. Jason Momoa is just
Okay.
I can't help it. His charisma is infectious.
Yeah,
Like he's the main reason I want to see it.
hot take, okay? People keep dogging on his outfit and his hairstyle and stuff like that in the movie.
I think it's hilarious.
I love it, man. I
Yeah,
think it's
like,
great.
cool
But
with me.
as far as the the visuals for all the different creatures and stuff like that, I think that and people are comparing it to the Sonic movie, and I completely agree. I think it's way too they're trying to make it realistic while still keeping the original style of the game, and I'm like, no, just like do the style of the game. Same thing goes with the actual like actors. They have so many examples of people making like Minecraft animations where they use the models from the game, but they just have real voices. Like there was the Minecraft story mode, which was an actual game that Telltale made, and they just used the models from the game and just made a story with it. They could have
I
totally
thought it was
done
cool. The tree had a chunk out of it, and you could see the little floating
that.
like
Yeah,
brick.
I,
It's cool stuff
I'm
like that.
I'm just worried about like what's the plot going to be, because it seems like it's one of those things where it's like,
It's
oh,
like Jumanji.
we accidentally went into this wacky universe. Oh, and I'm like, dude, that's been
It,
done like a million times. I hate this. I don't. I want like an actual story that takes place in the universe. It's they completely missed the mark for me.
those two Jumanji movies with The Rock did so well, and they had Jack Black in them, so I feel like that's what they're going for. Is that kind of vibe, but Jason Momoa instead of The Rock. You know, because The Rock has been filming The Smashing Machine, which is like a true story about a UFC fighter here,
Mhm.
and he looks completely different. He does not look like The Rock. And so he's I think The Rock is really trying to pivot in his career right now to like, all right, I want to be taken seriously as an actor because John Cena is being taken more seriously,
Yes,
and which I think John Cena is my favorite. And then
that's my favorite.
who's the who's Drax? What's his damn name? Why can't I think of it?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name either.
Dave Batista.
Yes.
He I think Dave Batista out of those three like wrestlers turned actors is the one that
I want to see more of him.
I think he's more he does a lot like he killed it in that little part he had in Blade Runner 2049. Like he's I just take him seriously when it comes to like serious parts like Knock at the Cabin. I don't know if you saw, but he I guess decided to lose all his muscle because it was limiting the roles he could get. And I'm like, yeah, that's dedication. Like to
Dang.
lose the thing that you're known for, basically being this
Dang.
big jacked guy. I think it's because he's no longer Drax. So it's like, all right, it's time now. I can like, you know. So he looks like a fit but skinny old guy, and I'm like, dude, he's gonna kill it.
Okay. We might be delving into spoiler territory, but what do you mean he's no longer Drax? Is Guardians of the Galaxy done or what? Because I didn't see the third one.
The third one's the last one
They're
that I
not
heard
doing
they were
any more?
doing with all of with like the you know. I think Chris Pratt said he's interested in still being Star Lord, but I don't think anybody else is really interested in continuing because James Gunn is done with that franchise. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, because Drax was so good, like
Mhm.
just like what a great character, because it's like it's
You're
not
sympathetic for him.
yeah, because it's also not like, oh haha, here's the big stupid muscly guy. It's like, no, he's just like kind of innocent.
Yeah.
Like it's not stupidity, it's just innocent. That's all it is. And like, yeah, he had his moments where it was like, you know, he kind of goes on rampages, but it was a very like wholesome character if you think about
Yeah, he'd
it.
be like laughing while he's like stabbing
Well, I
people.
still love the like when he would just stand still and like he would be like like you can't see me because I'm standing like super still, like I'm moving way too slow, and he's eating like a bag of chips. They're like, "What are you doing
Um,
here?"
he was great in the Christmas special, the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
Um, the uh, the last thing I'll say about the Minecraft thing is, if it's if we're talking about the gold standard of video game movies, I think right now it's Super Mario
Yep.
Bros. That's what everybody's emulating.
Yeah.
And so if it's basically at that level, but Minecraft, I think I'll have more fun than I did with Super Mario Bros. Because Super Mario Bros, I just don't know a lot of the lore and like the Easter eggs and stuff didn't do it for me.
Oh.
Whereas with this one, I know a little bit more because as much as I'm not a big fan of Minecraft, I don't have anything against it, and like I've played it and like I understand the lore to an extent, you know.
Well, so
So
I,
I'll be
I
taking Theo.
yeah, that's probably a good idea because then maybe he can get into Minecraft. But
He's
which
played it.
yeah, but he's not really into it, is he?
No, he plays a lot of Lego Star Wars right now,
Based.
like and Marvel. He plays like the Lego games,
Yeah,
Jurassic World.
I love that game. I really do love Minecraft. It's just that the community is so toxic now. Because anytime they release an update, everyone's like, "This update sucks." Well, like you
You know,
guys have so much budget, you guys can do anything. And I'm like, yeah, I agree, but like they're trying their best, man. Like they probably have restrictions. So,
my response to that is I think that's just gaming in general.
well,
Every gaming community is toxic now.
it comes from this place of like, hey, like the developers will be like, oh, hey, here are three new creatures that we could add, but you guys are gonna vote on one. Like you just pick one, and then that's what we'll add. People are like, well, I made a mod that adds all three, and it's like, yeah, they totally could have added all three. They really could have,
Yeah,
but there was
I think
probably a reason for why they didn't add that much all at once.
my favorite aspect of gaming right now is the indie scene. Is you're seeing people really come out with some really interesting concepts and like game styles. That game Thronefall that I
Yeah.
talked about, I've been playing it here and there on my Steam Deck. It's coming out of early access like next month, I think, or this month. And so I think it's going up by like $3, but they're supposed to be adding a bunch of more stuff to it. So highly recommend Thronefall.
Well, I might honestly buy it soon because
You should.
I a while back
Fun.
I made a resource pack for Minecraft and I put it on CurseForge. Bro, I made like $50 off it. I was like, holy crap! So because like you make like people will download it and based off the downloads that you're getting, they'll reward you for it. Similar to what Nexus Mods does. Because when I made mods for
Interesting.
Fallout 4, they gave me money for it. And so like when I hit $50, I'm gonna redeem like a PayPal gift card and I'll probably put some money into buying some brackets for my GPUs because the GPUs that I got a while back they don't have brackets for them. And then I
Mm.
might use the rest of the money for like I think you can use PayPal to buy stuff on Steam, so I might buy Thronefall. So
You should. It's a I highly recommend it. One of my I definitely think it has the opportunity to be a sleeper hit because of the price and everything.
yeah,
Um yeah, I think that's enough talk about the Minecraft trailer. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. You guys commenting, liking, sharing the podcast is the best way to support it for free. So drop us a comment about any of these topics. Let's transition into a quick ad break. Support us with the Patreon. I don't want to get into it in depth like I usually do because I think I've beat that horse to death. But you can game with us. You can be a producer. You can get free G Fuel. We do giveaways all the time. Speaking of giveaways, I've been doing. G Fuel gave me some codes for some starter kits and tubs, and so in the Discord I have a side chat that says secret giveaway corner, and this week giving away a code for a tub. So you do have to pay for shipping with these codes, but it's a $36 tub for free. So it literally you just pay like the $8 shipping and you get 40 servings of an energy drink of your choice of flavor. So the winner of that this week is Fishy. Congratulations, Fishy.
heck yeah, dude.
I'll be DMing you on Discord to give you your code. Sorry, my watch keeps blowing up and the passcode is not whatever. Anyways,
Dude,
um
Wait, random
Hang on,
thing.
I gotta
Random
finish
thing.
the ad
Random
break.
thing.
Let me finish it. Code
Wait.
Danny. No, don't ruin it. Let me get through it. Code Danny.
Will there
No,
be?
I don't want to talk about it. No.
No, I'm talking about
Code
Fit
Danny.
Butters.
I'm at the end. Code Danny D. Chris always cramps my fucking style. The other way to support us is by using G Fuel code Danny D for 10 to 30% off at gfuel.com, 10% off merch, 20% off everything else, and 30% off pre-orders and new flavor drops. We have a new flavor called I think is it
The strawberry
somebody just mentioned it. Yeah, it's like My Strawberry Girlfriend or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, my it is called Strawberry Girlfriend, and it is a new flavor described as strawberry guava coconut. Is that new?
I think
I feel
so.
like I feel like strawberry guava coconut was the glitch mix. No, let me look it up. Glitch mix. What is glitch mix? Strawberry guava coconut. Yeah, so it's a reskin of they've been doing a lot of reskins lately, which
Well, I saw this collector's box has like a milk carton shaker cup, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
It is cool. You put your G Fuel in like this clear milk carton looking thing. So that's kind of cool. Or that is cool. I like when they do interesting stuff like that. But that's dropping on September 20th. So use code DannyD for the first 3 days. You get 30% off with that code when a new flavor drops. So use that, and then use code DannyD for the Fit Butters. I cannot recommend this enough. I eat this stuff every day. I put it on top of my protein bars. I got this. I got these keto bagel thins that I've been putting it on. Oh, it's so good. It's like a dessert. That gets you 10% off if you buy 4 tubs. I think you get free shipping, and it's great stuff. Ton of good flavors. We talked about the flavors earlier. And then Chris, what is this nonsense you're
I was
gonna
gonna
say?
ask if there is a chance in the future we could do a Fit Butters giveaway.
Oh yeah. No, it's something right now. I just want to try all the flavors first, and then after that, I'll have my
That's
hands
fair.
on all of them. So we'll definitely give away some Fit Butters in the future. We're also just partnered with them with G Fuel. I'm sponsored, so they give
That's
me like
fair.
free product to give away and stuff. So it's a little different situation. I don't know if Fit Butters were to throw me a little money so I can like promote them even more, then maybe in that case we can
Yeah,
give some
because
away.
that banana maple French toast is like
Oh, it's so
to
good.
die for, man. The only thing
It's like real banana, by the way. It's not like fake
so
banana.
to me, it tastes like banana bread,
Yes,
and
it's like
it's
banana
like
bread.
the idea
Like banana pancakes.
the idea of having banana in and it's like a very strong banana flavor as well in a little scoop. It's like you could put that on some bread, just regular bread, and it's like you can get the same flavor without having to go and specifically get banana bread, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, honestly, so it says that there's like what is it, like 15 servings or something like that? How many servings is it? Yeah, that it'll
14?
last you way more than that. With a flavor that strong, I think you could do a lot more than just 15 servings with that. Like you only need a little bit on some bread and it'll be fine.
Well, based off of the 33 grams serving, it's 14 servings, but
Yeah.
you don't have to put a full serving, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Last thing to wrap up, the support us ad break. I plan on bringing back Creators Unite, if not by the end of the year, by the beginning of next year. I want to get like other actors, content creators, filmmakers. I think some of the guests that I was able to get on when I only had like 150,000 subs, like I had Chester from Life of Luxury on.
That's still crazy.
Yeah, that's like I think that's the most viewed one I did. And so I think now that I have, over 3 million subs and hopefully the longer form content and stuff, and the podcast has been doing better. We average about, I would say 1,500 views an episode. Some of them are getting 2K now. So as that does better, and like with the sub count, I think I can get some really like high profile people on, and it's going to be short. I'll keep it to an hour, maybe even less, sometimes 45 minutes to an hour. And I'll have questions ready so that it's like very straightforward. But I see it as like an opportunity to network with other creators around here and filmmakers and stuff too. And it'll be cool to like share things from other career fields. Like I want to have my cinematographer buddy on who was the camera operator for Pollo Loco. He was the cinematographer for Stolen G Fuel, and he's going to be the cinematographer for Always Ready. I would love to have him on because I know there's people who are interested in like cinematography. Like maybe they're not as interested in calling the shots or being an actor, and so like to learn about how he got to where he is would be really fascinating. And he's also just a really chill guy and loves movies. And his favorite, he literally has like the tattoo that Matthew McConaughey has in True Detective. Like he is into the same stuff I am, so we really click, and I think it would be fun to just chat with him about movies. But
So,
I'm gonna be dropping those. God damn it,
man.
I'm gonna be dropping those episodes early on Patreon as well. So those will also have 24-hour early access. So I'm trying to give you guys as much bang for your buck as I can with the Patreon. So definitely support it for as little as $1.
I was gonna talk about Stolen G Fuel because I, sometimes I forget that you made that because it's been so long. Like I feel like it was a
Yeah.
long time ago. That is the most underrated thing that you have ever made. I freaking
Thanks.
love that skit, man. And
I mean, it's got like 320,000 views
on
on TikTok,
but on YouTube, like it's
7.5 on YouTube.
it deserves more because it's hilarious. It's so freaking funny. But yeah, just want to say that go watch Stolen G Fuel. It's great.
Yeah, rate it on Letterboxd and IMDb if you haven't, because I think we're like 13 reviews away from Letterboxd actually showing an official rating. So, go rate it. No. Anyways, we're done with the ads there. Speaking of Patreon, every week we do our Patreon questions. So we got a bunch of questions this week. Some of them are quick, some of them are longer, and then we've got like 3 really hot topics to talk about after that. So starting with Louis, he says, Chris, what is your favorite and least favorite G Fuel at the moment? And Danny, if you could have any actor in your next short film, who would it be and why? I'll let you go first, Chris.
So all-time favorite is Nemesis T. If I could go back in time, I would find the formula for it and bring it to the future so I could have it every single day. But as far as flavors that currently are available, Flavor Bomb, I think you have been giving me some of that. So I have that currently. You can't go and buy it, but that's what I've been drinking lately. And then least favorite, what was that? Was it Tropical Rain?
Yeah, the kiwi aftertaste of that one just
Yeah, that
really
one,
turned me off of
that
it.
was like one of the first cans that I got, and it was the only one where I was genuinely like, yeah, I don't like this. It was back when I got like, I think it was Sonic's Peach Rings, and I think like Phase Berry and a couple other flavors, and like those were great, and it was just this Tropical Rain one. I was like, I don't want this ever again. And the worst part
Yeah.
is I got like 4 cans of it. So I was like, dang it. But yeah, so that's my answer there.
So I don't plan on making official short films um, by the definition anymore. I might make a proof of concept for a horror film. Just depends on how that goes, whether I really need to make it or not. But I do have a couple of actors that I've had in mind for some features that are low budget. So I have one where there's kind of like a support group, and one of the characters in it I pictured as being the guy who plays Tuco in Breaking Bad, and I think he lives here. So, and I have some friends who do know him. Like the Breaking Bad circle of supporting actors here is really tight knit, and like they're really cool. And so there's a role for him that I would really love him to do. I think he'd be perfect for it, and it would be more serious and not as like over the top. But when he is like, like what, like that,
Yeah.
yeah, like I got those moments where I'm like, it would be awesome to have him, and like I don't think he does much. He hasn't been doing a whole lot of acting, like like he sometimes when an actor kills it as a specific character, it is so hard for other producers, directors, all these people to picture them as anything else, and I hate that about acting.
Yeah.
That's why I've tried really hard with my acting to do different things every time, which is tough, and it definitely makes it harder to break in. But I think it keeps you from being typecasted as much. And then the other character from Breaking Bad that I would want him to play like a main villain character in that dropout drug dealer film. The guy who plays Gomez, Stephen Michael Casada, I think is his name. Casada, yeah, Stephen Michael Casada. So the guy who plays Gomi in Breaking Bad, I have a really cool like sinister part that he could play, which is something I haven't seen him do, is play like a bad guy. So, um, there's two things there for that. Next question. Thank you for that one, by the way, Louis. Those were great. Super Dude says, "What is your favorite game? What were our favorite? What was our favorite game to play when we were kids? Like together? I guess like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But separate, I would say Burnout 3. Burnout 3 was like one of the games that I bonded with my dad over. So
As like a little kid, probably Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, because that was like the only game that I had on the 360.
sorry, I have a hangnail and it's driving me nuts.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And then as far as like what I played for most of my childhood, I remember there was a certain point back when you were lifeguarding. You were like, "Yeah, you can play Black Ops, but like just don't let Dad see." And so Dad would
Mom
Dad,
listens to this, she's like, oh.
Dad would be at work, and I think this is over the summer because you were lifeguarding. So Dad would be at work, Mom would be at home working on like lesson plans and stuff like that, and I would hop on Ascension on Black Ops 1 and just go for high rounds, and I would always get to like round 40 with the ray gun and the thunder gun, and then I'd die. And there was one time I was about to hit my record, and then I heard the garage door open, and I thought it was our dad, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So I went and shut the Xbox off, and no, it was Mom coming home from like McDonald's. I was like, "Dang it!"
Wait, so why did you shut it off? Was it because like you weren't supposed to play the game, or
Yeah,
was it?
well, because if Dad had seen, he would have been
'Cause
mad.
we also had like there was a point in time where like Dad was like, you guys play video games way too damn much. We have a time limit now,
Yeah,
1 hour.
Yeah, it was around that same time too. But also, he wouldn't want me playing Call of Duty. And then what's funny is when Black Ops 3 came out, they had the Zombies Chronicles DLC, and so
Good DLC.
around that time, he was like, I don't remember how it happened, but I think I kept saying like, "Oh, hey, like, can I play the Xbox for more than an hour?" And they were finally like, "Yeah, like you can do that." And I was like, "Cool."
Just leave us alone.
Yeah. And I came home one day from doing something. I don't know if it was from being like, I don't know if I was like staying the night at a friend's house or what, but I came home and our sister was kind of looking at me weird. Just like she was trying to like, not smile about something. And I was like, "What happened?" And I go into my bedroom and the Xbox is sitting there. And I was like, "Oh my God, the Xbox is in my room now. I can play this as much as I want." And so
Yeah.
first thing I do is go for around 100 on Revelations.
Straight degen.
Dude, within a week, the capacitors on the TV blew out.
That's crazy. But back to my pick, Burnout 3. Like, if there was one game that I could pick that got remastered, it would be that. I got a PlayStation 2, tried to play it like a year ago, and because it's like 360p, it just does not play well on like a modern TV. So it's really like it's so blurry. So I really hope they remaster that someday, because Burnout Paradise was ass.
Do they even make Burnout games anymore? I don't think so.
No, Burnout Paradise was like so poorly received. I think that killed the franchise. Next up, Cisco says, "Do you think the Minecraft movie is going to flop or not?" No, I think so many people like Minecraft, and it's like there's kids who play it, there's adults who play it. Like I don't think it'll flop. I don't know if it's going to be as big as Super Mario Bros, but I don't know. What do you think? I don't see it flopping.
I think people will watch it, but I don't know if people are going to love it.
I think it has the opportunity or the possibility of being like surprisingly decent. I think people are being way too hard on it, but
Yeah, and I mean,
a fucking Minecraft movie. What do you expect? That's so
Yeah.
hard to turn into a story.
well, I disagree, but I won't get into it because I already talked about it.
Well, knowing how studio films work, it's hard to adapt because it's a game it doesn't really have like a straight up
I
hold your
mean,
hand story.
yeah, that's fair. I guess if you're like if you're talking about from like a we want to reach more people kind of perspective, yeah, it's
It's
kind of hard.
definitely, yeah, was
Yeah.
definitely what they're trying. That's what they were trying to do with Super Mario Bros. They're trying to please
What the
everybody,
heck
and
happened with
it worked.
Borderlands? What like what were they
Mom and
doing?
Dad watched it. I literally was talking to them on the phone. Like, yeah, we watched Borderlands, and I was like, it was fine, right? And they're like, yeah, it was okay. Like, it wasn't anything like amazing, but like, it wasn't like the worst movie we've seen.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but
of course it wasn't. I think people just found the movie that they wanted to shit on.
I don't know. I think what probably happened was it like
Six
was
percent on Rotten Tomatoes is insane. I don't
it
care who what. 6% should be a movie that literally you can't sit through because it's so bad. I sat through this no problem. It was enough fun to still be entertaining, but there was a lot of moments where you're like rolling your eyes because you're like, oh yeah, it's a movie and movies do things, to like nod at the audience and stuff, and it doesn't always work.
well, but
And the
also
last act specifically is really bad blue screen,
the
I will
the
say.
there it kind of disrespected the source material as far as I'm aware.
I didn't feel disrespected. I played the first two like crazy, and
Yeah, but I'm
it didn't
talking
bother me.
people who played every game like
I
8 times. Like imagine like the people who played Borderlands saw the movie and were like, "Oh, this movie sucks." It's same as if they made like if the Fallout TV show came out and it was complete garbage. I would know because I've played those games like crazy. Like I think I have like what 4,000 hours in Fallout 4, something ridiculous, right? If the show
yeah.
sucked, I would have made it very clear. There were some things that weren't perfect about it, but if there's anybody who is qualified to say whether that show was bad or not, I am one of them. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
People who played those games like
Yeah.
crazy, saw the movie and didn't like it, it's because
I
something was not right about how it treated the source material.
The biggest issue for me was the fact that the actors they chose were all like old. Like they should have went with
Yeah.
like younger up and coming actors or just new faces. And not only would that have kept the budget from being so damn big because the budget ran up. I don't remember how much they spent on it. I think it was over 100 mil.
So what's funny, Jack Black was in Borderlands, and he's in the
That's
Minecraft
Claptrap.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
so
Jack Black is Jack Black must like I don't know how he's not in like the top 10 highest paid actors because that guy's always doing something big, like a big IP.
well, I wonder if he's getting paid a lot. Like it
Maybe
might
he's
be.
just not about the money, and
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I'll take that lower paid to do that. He's also big into video games, from
yeah.
what I hear. Like he really wants to be in Red Dead 2, or the Red Dead movie. He really wants to
Is
be
he
in
gonna be
that.
a Red Dead movie? He could do that.
I
I
mean,
would say yeah, he could do that.
I so I've been doing some producer stuff with Ben, and so we talk a lot about like trying to get rights and stuff for video games and stuff to like package and like get something made, and it comes up a lot in conversation with like other producers and stuff that somebody owns the rights to make a Red Dead film or show or whatever. So I don't know who it is because I haven't dug that deep, but I know somebody's got it. Anything super big has already been scooped up because people are like they're collecting them like Monopoly cards. Like all these studios are like they're like popular video game that could be something. Let's buy it before somebody else does. And like who knows? Anything could just all of a sudden be a movie
So I don't
or
know.
show.
This is honestly this topic has gone on super long, but GTA as a movie, I don't know if it could be done.
I think it can. It just has to be rated R.
Still, I feel like it would be hard to get the plot to be interesting because I think what makes those games so good is that like you are the one actually getting people in these situations and
I
you get
think
to experience it that way. Like it's like you're there, right?
I
Whereas in
think
the movie it's like
GTA 5's campaign is so beloved because the characters are so like well developed. Those three characters you play as in GTA
well,
5, they're
the
great.
the actor who plays Trevor is like awesome. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
does
a
a
really
lot
cool
of
dude.
stuff.
He was in Breaking Bad
Yeah,
or Better
yeah.
Call Saul. Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better
He's
Call Saul. But he was in something else where
he's in a lot of stuff.
I think he was in some like Western thing. I don't remember. But every time that I see him, I get happy. as far as like when he's in a role, because I know he's gonna do a good job.
Yeah, I feel bad because I see so many videos where he's like, people go, "Hey, you're Trevor. Could you tell me to fuck off?" and all this stuff. And he's like, "I just want love, man. Give me a hug." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Well, and meanwhile you have God, who's the guy who's like dead, or he's officially dead? Michael in GTA 5. That guy, um, he in real life is just like such a boomer. Like
yeah,
he's like, I guess
yeah,
I guess there's a picture that he posted where he was trying to show like his weight loss or something like that, and
yeah." People's Photoshop the shit out of
and so
it.
they
They
make it
go,
look like it's a
yeah,
nude. and,
yeah. They made it look like,
and people keep posting it, and he gets pissed off about it.
yeah. Anyways, on to the next topic. Joey the human person, which I think this is the first time I've seen them do a question. So welcome, Joey. How much do you make per month from content creation from each platform, together and separate, and from your brand deals and codes? And don't worry, I use code DannyD whenever I get my G Fuel. So Joey, this is a weird question to answer because one, it's not about money to me. Like if I have enough to support my family, I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm also not allowed to get into specifics about G Fuel because I've signed like a confidentiality agreement. Um, I think it also makes you agree to that when you sign up for TikTok stuff. So I can't
Really?
say yes, I can't say specific numbers about what I make, but what I will say is if I were to quit content creation, I would probably have to get 3 well-paying jobs to get anywhere close to what I make now. So I do well for myself, but things change, like, oh, you might get a crazy brand deal that pays really well, but then there's no brand deals for a couple months. Um, and then like, G Fuel could decide, hey, we're pivoting and we're trying to target a different demographic, so we're letting go of certain people. G Fuel could go away, and like it's just it constantly fluctuates. It's never the same month to month. I also get paid by the Coast Guard still because I'm 70% disabled for my hearing loss and a bunch of other stuff that I don't want to get into because it's personal. But we're doing well enough that I was able to get basically my dream car, and we're gonna be getting a house soon. The only reason we didn't get a house is because the market was shit, and it's still kind of shit. But there's better houses on the market, I
Yeah.
will say. So I think in about a year we'll be getting a house. And what I was telling my parents and my wife the other day is that the reason why Pollo Loco was so easy to make as my first film is because I put 20K into it. Like, simple as that. I put money down, and when you put money down, you can move mountains. So you can do things because money in the filmmaking industry is your power, and it allows you to get things done. And so the main thing that's stopping me from creating feature films right now is the fact that I can't do that right now, because if I were to do that, that would affect buying a house. Because when it comes to taxes, any money you spend on a film that's not a tax incentive, which I think we're getting like 7K of our 20K back from New Mexico, so that's cool. But anything that you spend on a film that isn't made back yet is considered, like, they look at it every time you especially with feature films, you started as an LLC, right? So it'll be like Always Ready LLC or whatever it's going to be called. Because the LLC itself doesn't really matter what it's called, but that LLC on paper looks like you started a business. And so if you spend 20K and you don't get 20K back, when you go to do your taxes, they go, somebody started a failing business here. This is risky. So in order to get a home loan, we want you to make more money or be able to put more money down or something. And that's kind of the issue we ran into with the specific house we were looking at. And I was like, we've got stuff to take care of. Let's just take care of that. Sign a lease here, wait it out another year, and then if we do have to put some money down, we'll be able to, and it won't be an issue, and we get the house we want. I'm going way off into the weeds about houses and stuff, but basically what I'm saying is, like, without giving a specific number, it would, a lot of stuff would have to go wrong for me to have to get a normal job right now. I think I've done a good job diversifying my income, so it doesn't all come from one place. I'm going to talk about a creator later that kind of ties into that, but I would say if you're asking this because you're thinking about becoming a content creator or making it a career, the number one thing you got to do right now, and I think it's more important than ever before, is diversify your income. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't go, oh, TikTok is the way because they're, paying $1 per 1,000 views and I'm going to stick to that. If TikTok goes tits up because it gets banned, we'll be fine because we still have YouTube. I got the G Fuel sponsorship. We do brand deals. I get paid to act. I've sold a commercial script and I plan on selling more scripts in the future. So there's all these different sources of income coming in, my Coast Guard payment, all that basically, because of that, even though content creation is considered a very risky career field because it fluctuates so much and it's not consistent when it comes to income, because I have all those different sources of income, that is my financial security, is the fact that if one thing dies off, there's other things. There's other places I could pivot. I've never really pushed merch, but if it came down to, hey, we need to sell some merch this month, or I got to get a part-time job, I mean, that's just what I got to do. I got to push some merch, I got to come up with some good merch to sell or something. But, which, by the way, let me know if you guys want merch for the podcast, because that's something we could very easily do. A lot of the only issue is, like, not all merch is created equal. So, some merch doesn't last as long as others. T-shirts, a lot of times I get merch from other content creators and the t-shirts fade after like 3 washes. And
Yeah.
so I feel like a hoodie or something would be a good thing to spend money on.
Whatever they made
topic.
this shirt out of, man, like this stuff has stayed pretty solid.
G Fuel has great merch. I think they have like the best merch that I've found. And I know what company makes the shirts, so I think that's who I would go with.
Fair enough.
There is DD23 merch. I have a link. So if you want some DD23 merch, there is some. The fall weather is coming, so get yourself a hoodie or something. I see Louis wearing. I see people post on TikTok wearing DD23 shirts, and that blows my mind. Like, people are just walking around about life with my logo on their chest. Very humbling. On to the next thing. I hope that gave you some insight, though, Joey. I just can't really get into specifics because I legally am not supposed to. But Tommy asks, if money wasn't an issue, what would your dream vacation be, and what would you do?
God, I don't even know, man.
I know my wife is a big Doctor Who fan, and so she really wants to go to like London. So I think we would go to Europe. I want to go to Germany and like Ireland. Like I don't know. I think a lot of those like European area countries and stuff I would go check out. Italy would be so good to go to because of the food. Oh man.
See, I don't know because like
The Bahamas.
Like I don't like traveling is the problem. Like I just have never been a fan of it. Because truth be told, like a vacation for me is just sit at home for 2 weeks and do nothing. Like which is I know is such a lame answer, but that's genuinely how I feel. Like I'm very content in like where I'm at, and so like I don't know. Like it could be cool to go to Hawaii. It could be cool to go to Europe. It could be cool to go to like Alaska and like just
Alaska's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, like I mean, there's like a whole area where there's just icebergs that are just like blue. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, I think because I work from home, to me a vacation is like getting out of my home. But I will say, for 4.5 years now, the idea of like just sitting on my ass for like 2 or 3 days and not posting on social media sounds like a vacation. But I don't plan on doing a vacation like that for a long time. I'm just not. I don't feel. I think at this point in time, because I have so much stuff going on with social media, and I'm not. I might be a full-time filmmaker, but I'm not making much money. Like, I get paid to act here and there. Like I said, I sold that one commercial script, but other than that, like when you first start out as a filmmaker, the way that you get stuff made is by not taking money from the budget, and that's why Pollo Loco, I didn't make anything from that. I'm Pollo Loco was always intended to be like a loss. Oh, by the way, update on that. I reached out to the record label for one of the songs that the short film's copyright claimed for, and I was like, "Yo, how much how much do I have to pay to have you remove the copyright claim?" And I guess they enjoyed the film, and so they offered to take away the claim for free. So,
Heck yeah, dude.
cool. Yeah. Um. So hopefully that'll improve its odds at getting lots of views and stuff. And now I can use some of that money that I was planning on, like maybe having to drop on that to run an ad on TikTok or something to get people to go watch the film. So get ready, man. October 1st, it's gonna be dropping. We're gonna do a YouTube premiere, and I'll be releasing like a behind the scenes video and stuff. So that'll be really cool. But yeah, I think that answered the vacation question. Thanks, Tommy. Nikki asks, but we got a question from Nikki and then a question from Nick. So Nikki says, what are you most excited about for the new COD? Warzone, zombies, or multiplayer? Right now, I would say zombies because we haven't played it yet. So.
Yeah. For me, it goes zombies, campaign, multiplayer, Warzone. Which I know it's kind of crazy that campaign's above multiplayer, but it's because I've already played multiplayer. And the campaign, Treyarch always has pretty good campaigns, except for maybe
this one
Black
looks
Ops
really
3.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 is a weird one, but I won't. That's not the question.
Really weird game.
I won't get into that. But yeah.
But yeah, I would say zombies too. Warzone, I'm gonna be honest, man. Warzone, just I forget it exists sometimes because I just do not care about it anymore.
I will care about
if they
it.
bring back Verdansk, I'll care, but
this year I will care about it just because one of the maps they're doing is Nuketown.
Oh yeah, I guess I just don't like it's not even like normal battle royale anymore. They do this freaking rebirth thing that everybody loves, and it's like it totally defeats the purpose of what battle royale is supposed to be. You're supposed to die and that's it. It's like it's the idea that you're just coming back. It's like multiplayer with more steps. I don't know.
Yeah. Warzone does have a camo grind this year, so I will at least
like
try
camos you can only get in Warzone.
Yeah. There's mastery camos that you can get only in Warzone.
I just don't have the time to get mastery camos, and if I try to get the mastery camos, I'm gonna feel like a shit bag, like neglecting my family or my writing or whatever to do that. And I mean, just playing this beta, like because there's a time limit, I'm like, oh, like last night I hopped on for like one match and I was like, that's it, and then I did one more before I went to bed because I was like, oh, it was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean. I could see this Call of Duty being a very streamable Call of Duty, which is like kind of a buzzword.
Yeah.
But genuinely, like I think the camo grind is what a lot of people really care about because they're like, oh my god, who's gonna get it first? And then once you do get it, it's people want to see the camos, and so like if somebody comes into your stream or they watch your YouTube video and they see you with one of the mastery camos, they go, "Oh man, this guy's really good at the game." So, I think if you are like a streamer who used to do a lot of Warzone, this is gonna be your game, like for sure. But for me, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I get you. Last question from Nick. I'll let you handle, Chris, because it's your business.
So this question is just ask me what I do for work. I unfortunately just can't really talk about that, but it's nerdy. That's the way I can put it. It's just very nerdy. So, I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer than that, but it's just nerd stuff. Yeah.
A very Chris job. That's what I'll say. Yeah, he found a good job for himself. Okay, that's the rest of our questions. I appreciate all the questions this week, guys. Like they're really interesting, and I feel like each one kind of says something about the person that asks it. Like it kind of shows what they're curious about. And yeah, that wraps it up for the questions. Like I said, I got like 4 quicker topics to talk about to wrap up the episode here. I think we're gonna try and keep the episodes to about an hour and a half. I think that's like the sweet spot for us.
Yeah.
So, rumor: Bryan Cranston could be the Marvel's new Professor X, is what they're talking about.
Dude, they're
I don't know
shelling
how I
out
feel
so much
about it.
money about or for actors and stuff, man. I like the Robert Downey Jr. thing. I don't get me wrong, I love Robert Downey Jr., but we don't need him back.
No,
Like I
I think
and
it's yeah.
and I think I mean while Bryan Cranston definitely like I would love to see him in more stuff. I'm also like, God, like
I trust that Bryan Cranston. I feel like Bryan Cranston's at this point where he's like, no matter what I do, I'm always going to be known for Breaking Bad because that was the role that like it's a once in a lifetime thing where like it lines up, the show's a hit, it's iconic. Like, I mean, it's a meme too. Like, Walter White will probably go down in history as one of the. It is one of the greatest character arcs of all time.
here's a problem. Okay, Professor X is bald.
I
If
think that's why they're eyeing him is because
if
he was
if
bald in Breaking Bad.
if Bryan Cranston has to do another bald role, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's Walter White."
Right. Well, it's like that's why it's a rumor. It's like there's floating it because they're like, oh, we need a bald person. Oh, well, he was known. He played a really good bald guy. But
I mean,
I trust that Bryan Cranston knows what he's doing. But at the same time, I feel like Bryan Cranston is at that point where he's got fuck you money and he doesn't really care. It's like, oh yeah, I would love to like. Who wouldn't want to play a Marvel character? You know what I mean? The question is, what Marvel character is it, and how are they approaching it? And the fact that right now, like Deadpool and Wolverine is the best thing they've made in a while, like it
that
kind of
movie was
seems like a
so
good.
good.
It seems like that's the best thing to bet on. If you were like going to be in that same, because it's X-Men. So
Well, and that's the thing, dude.
I'd be cool with it,
So
but I'd also be cool if they got somebody else.
that movie, I think it being rated R was like the
I
best decision because seriously, man, that was what Multiverse of Madness really messed up on. If that movie was allowed to do more stuff,
It would have
like
been more scary, way more
yeah,
scary.
dude, yeah, and instead it looked like a Spy Kids
Would have been like a
movie.
nightmare. It had some trippy moments at times, but yeah, it was just like you could tell it was being held back by the fact that because
Yeah,
it was freaking Sam Raimi, bro, like
yeah,
the guy who made Evil Dead.
yeah,
Like come on, man, let the guy like do his thing. But of course, it's Marvel, so they're gonna do whatever they want with it at the end of the day. I really hope that because of Deadpool and Wolverine's success, they let more. I mean, I think we're already starting to see it a little bit, but like, if the next wave of Marvel films is like every other film's rated R, I think that would be a great move.
that
I
would get
think
me back into it.
that would get me back into it. Like, if all of a sudden they go, I doubt they would do an Avengers movie that's rated R, but like if they did another Doctor Strange and it was rated R, stuff like that would really get me more hyped. But
I
I think Deadpool and Wolverine is one of those things that it would not have worked if it was PG-13.
yeah,
So
I
it's a
think
special circumstance.
the move is you do a couple movies that are PG-13 or whatever, and then you sprinkle in some rated R ones. So that way you still reach the audience that you want to reach for most of the movies, but then you have some where it's specifically for the people who are like, hey, like I want a more serious, dark Marvel movie. Because I mean, even Iron Man, the original Iron Man, was a very dark movie. It really was. And then
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 was supposed to go more into like how Tony Stark has like a drinking problem, and they didn't go into it that much. And it's probably because they were worried about like, hey, like, are we alienating like a certain portion of our audience by doing that? So I think
Yeah.
if they did stuff that was rated R, it would be a little bit more serious. And I think people would appreciate that.
I think it's an interesting idea to pick Bryan Cranston, and like I said, I trust Bryan Cranston and the type of actor he is, that like whatever he does do, he commits to. Like, dude, he was the best part of the Godzilla movie. And I don't know if it's because of how expensive he is or what, but once he dies in that movie, it kind of goes a different route. And a lot of people are like, man, I wish he was in the movie more, because he was just, I mean, he's just he's versatile. He could play that like evil guy. He could play that like innocent dad, like Malcolm in the Middle, and then he can also play a guy who's just like going through an emotional thing. There's a show on Netflix right now that I watched when it was specifically on Showtime, but Showtime's kind of gone to rights shit. I don't know even who. I think Paramount owns it now. It was called God damn it, what was it called? Hey, I'm looking it up. He plays a judge, and his son gets caught up in a case, and he basically has to like manipulate things in the courtroom to get his kid off the like to try and get his kid off the hook. And so that was really good, and like it was so good that it was supposed to be a limited series, and they made a second season. So I'm gonna it's something guilty. The guilty or something? I can't come on, of course this shit's not gonna load.
Jesus.
God damn. Your Honor. It's called Your Honor because he's the judge. You know, like, oh, Your Honor. Great show. Enjoyed it, start to finish. And I recommend checking that out on Netflix, especially if you like Breaking Bad. Next up, got some drama. Doc responded to the allegations on his first stream back. I don't know if you've seen the highlights from it.
Yeah, I've seen.
Is he guilty?
So the way that I've heard it is basically, yes, he's still guilty because he did talk to a minor, but Twitch is not entirely innocent.
Right. That's what I see, but I also saw he read a donation or a comment, and like somebody was like, just show us the messages.
And yeah, he was
like and then like to the next thing, like it was awkward.
No,
I think there's something he's hiding there.
He said something about oh, show us messages. Oh, what is it, second grade? And it was like, what? Like that's it's like, what are you talking about, bro? What is this, second grade?
I think it's the one thing that could win people back over us if he shows those messages, and it's totally just like him joking around and it got inappropriate, but then it stopped. You know what I mean? Like
a big example of that is Mr. T Lexify, who is a zombies YouTuber. Him and his ex-girlfriend got in this huge fight or whatever, and basically he was being accused of talking to her when she was like 17 and he was 19 or something like that. I forgot what it was, but basically, or maybe she was 16. I don't know, but basically people were like, dude, like, you're a groomer. And he was like, okay, well, let me show you the DMs. And she was like super abusive and stuff like that. And people were like, okay, like, situation's still a little weird, but we also know like you probably just hadn't been in a relationship in a while and you got manipulated. So like some people took his side afterwards, but it was still a little gray. And I think that's probably the best that Doc could get, is that
I still don't know why it's weird to me that he didn't just come out in front of it when it came out and say, yes, I messaged a minor, but I did not know it was a minor. And then when we found out it was a minor, it was legal in that state or whatever, which is obviously like, oh, it was under 18 but probably 17, at the worst 16, because some states 16 is legal age. That's all he had to do, and say I mean, he did say in the highlight that I saw that the judge deemed it not illegal, you know. But does that mean much when you're Dr. Disrespect and you can avoid good lawyers? You know what I mean?
The argument that I hear is legality does not equal morality.
Exactly. That is a good way to put it. And as somebody who used to support him and like really be a fan of like what he did, and it inspired me to get into streaming, the fact that we're even still talking about this and it's such a mess and he got himself in that position is enough for me to go, I'm not a fan anymore, man. And not only that, like, he had to come out and say he cheated on his wife before.
That was rough.
We got these, and not only that, like, why not just come out outside of character and address it so people realize this is serious, he's being serious about it. Instead, he's live streaming in character to talking about it, and it's getting awkward and weird, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you're watching a guy wearing a wig playing a character try to explain his way out of a weird, messy situation where he still can't just straight up go, here's the messages. Why can't he just show the messages? The whole thing legally has been blown out of proportion. Each side can talk about it freely now. Just show us the fucking messages, but he's not. So that tells me there's something to hide.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
that is enough for me to go, I'm still done.
I thought it was crazy when I went into his stream yesterday. There was like 130,000 people watching him like an hour after he was done talking about everything. It was like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Well, he didn't stream for so long. I think anytime a streamer of his size leaves, he's going to have a big first stream. But I heard it settled out to around 70 to 80K.
That's still a ton, man. XGC gets
I think that's less
now.
I feel like he was averaging somewhere around 100K before the allegations. So it'll be interesting to see how his next stream does. You know what I mean? And like how is he doing a month from now?
But
he did say he can reapply for YouTube partnership on like the 25th.
Yeah. So here's my thing.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets denied or not.
Saying that he went from 100K down to 80K or whatever, or 70K, that's like someone being like, oh, I was making $1 billion, but now I'm only making 700 million. Like, okay, like that's not a big deal, man. You're still making tons. So,
especially for YouTube gaming, that's a lot.
So I don't know.
I mean, he lost all his sponsorships, all of them.
Yeah, and he hasn't been with G Fuel in a long time, right? Yeah,
he went with Mountain Dew, and then they don't make energy drinks anymore. So weird situation. They like discontinued the product. I feel
like he always makes the worst
voting all the time.
He makes the worst decisions as far as like just like business decisions, right? It's because like he's like, oh guys, yeah, I wanna go to Mixer. Let me just tell Twitch about that. Like,
I don't know, but like I said, when it comes to this specific situation, at the end of the day, we're talking about a married guy who one or more times now has gotten himself into a weird situation that is related to inappropriate relations, whatever, whether it's messaging, actually cheating on his wife. There was those messages that came out that we still don't know are real or not, where he was like straight up talking to like some trans OnlyFans model or something, and like I mean, it was very explicit. Yeah, where he was like talking about cripping it and stuff, and then like, you know, it was just like boom.
Was that?
And I'm like, this guy's a weirdo.
Was that before or after he admitted to cheating?
It came out after.
Yes, but
I mean, I don't.
When were the DMs?
It seems like a lot of stuff was happening around the time that the cheating thing happened. Yes,
because
but that's 3 instances where I'm like, if it's, you know,
it could be 3.
It's a repeat offender.
I don't know if the DMs that you're talking about, I don't know if that happened, like, I don't know if the DMs took place before, during, or after the cheating thing, because if it was before, there is a chance that the person that he was cheating with was the person he was DMing.
I don't know. It's just, he was basically like, he was having these like dirty messages with this model, and then it was basically like the reason she was like participating in this chatting was because he told her he could help her out getting Twitch partner, and then when it turned out he couldn't, because I think it was around the time that he was like about to lose his partnership. Because of that, he was like, oh sorry, I can't help you, and then he like blocked him. So but like I said, I'm like, we got 3 instances now where he never addressed that, obviously, because that's something he'll probably like just deny. But the other 2 things, it's like we have all these instances where he's getting caught in hot water. What are the things that we don't see? You know what I mean?
Man,
who knows? And it's just enough for my brain to wander and go, I don't think I want to support this person anymore.
God, it must suck to be him right now, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I mean, a lot of people have said they respect the fact that, you know, like if he was like super guilty, then he probably would just disappear, because that's what a lot of people who get caught doing something do, is they just dip, you know. But I don't know. A part of it makes me think he's just playing into his persona of like, you know, I'm the doc, you know, like it's just you
Well, I
can't
mean,
cancel me.
dude, he always does these stupid, like, I don't know. It's like the I'm 14 and edgy or whatever, where it's like I'm gonna make this post where it makes me seem super mysterious and like I like a game of 4D chess going on in my head, right? And then
Yeah.
it's like you streamed with the title "The Truth" and then went on a schizo rant about how you're not a pedophile. Like I don't know. Like it's so weird. I don't understand why he doesn't just retire, because that guy has so much money and it's not worth all the drama, man. Like I just
Yeah. I mean, it's just I hear so many jokes now where it's just like, "Hey Doc, do you want to bang at TwitchCon?" Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's just like, bro, that is gonna that is
well,
no matter 10 years from now if he's still streaming, that is gonna haunt him forever. I mean, to this day, people still stream snipe him with the name Doc cheats on wife. You know what I mean? Like I think we've talked enough about it. The whole thing sucks. I still stand by the decision to throw away my collector's box. I did not like it. Just it made me feel shitty to even look at it because I'm like I looked up to this guy and here he is having to try and explain himself out of a situation that most people consider morally wrong and irredeemable. You know what I mean? Like no matter how you word it, like at the end of the day, you were married and you were talking to a minor, whether it was legal in that state or not, still wrong. Still
yeah.
wrong.
Anyways,
Yeah, anyways,
on a
moving
much
on.
lighter note,
Surprising news. Nikocado Avocado came back after not posting for 7 months and he looks like his old self.
so here's the
He
thing.
lost a bunch of weight.
So I want to clear something up. There is a huge misconception. Okay? People are saying that he lost all that weight in 7 months. He lost it in 2 years. He was posting stuff after he started losing weight, but it
Mm,
was old videos that he'd already stockpiled.
I see.
So
Interesting.
he did lose it in two
But he
years.
still lost
He
like
lost a
we're
lot of weight. He looks great.
talking like how much do you think he lost? Have they said?
Dude probably lost like at least 200 pounds, maybe three.
I'm thinking between 1 to 200.
Really? Between 1 and 200? That's it?
I don't know how tall he is. Here, let's
That's
see
fair.
how much weight because he doesn't seem like a tall guy. Did Nikocado lose? He says he lost 250 pounds. God damn, that is two
Wow.
people.
Wait, so I was actually like pretty close.
Yeah, no, I that the question is, will he keep it off? And the other question that people have is, was it Ozempic? Like, how did he
Yeah,
do it?
people keep saying that. Yeah, I
I
don't
will
know.
say, for losing that much weight, his face looks great.
Yeah. Well, he does really look like his old self.
Yes,
And
back
I
when
don't
he
know.
used to play violin and stuff all the time.
I don't know the guy. I don't watch his stuff. I just all I hear is the memes. But I do want to say, like, I doubt he'll ever hear this. But good for you, man.
Yeah, good for you.
Like,
I,
good
I
job.
I think it would have been a good opportunity to pivot in your content though, because coming back and going, I'm the villain and stuff like that, I was like, really? Like you have the opportunity to like tell people like, look, if I can do it, you can. And instead, we're memeing. You know what I mean? But that's your choice. And at the end of the day, you still I mean, people I think when it comes to because we don't know how he lost it, we don't know if he did it naturally, which is totally possible and very difficult. We don't know if he used Ozempic, whatever. I think there's a common misconception that like, oh, that guy used steroids, so he cheated, and it's like, it was easier for him than it will ever be for me. Same thing with losing weight with Ozempic. I know people who took steroids in the past, and they've explained to me that taking steroids is not a cheat code. It just means the a bar of what you can achieve physique wise is raised, but you still have to work for it like a normal person. It just allows you to recover way faster, which means you're in the gym twice as much if you want to look like Arnold. So to tell somebody, like you're not like you didn't work for that, you just used drugs. No, they worked for it. And not only that, like there's always a trade-off. We don't know what the negative side effects are of Ozempic long term. Like it could cause cancer, who knows? I feel like it can't be good for your thyroid and stuff. There's no way. But I mean, Arnold has had how many heart surgeries? You know what I mean? Like the guy's paying for it with his health. Um, but the idea that just because you do something like that means you're not a hard worker blows my mind. Like even if Nikocado Avocado used Ozempic, like there's a lot of other factors. Like you still can't eat like a slob, and you still have to exercise. And just because you had some help doesn't mean that like it wasn't hard. And so I do commend him for losing that much weight. That is absolutely insane. I think the most weight I've ever lost is like 40 pounds, and that I mean it's different for everybody. I know for me it was kind of at a time in my life where like I had kind of finished puberty and stuff like that, so like it's kind of natural for men when their testosterone balances out and stuff and is at like its height to be able to lose that much weight pretty quickly, and like your physique changes to basically what it's going to be the rest of your life. um but even for me, like losing 40 pounds is not easy. And I think getting to like I think I'm close to the leanest I've ever been as far as like muscle mass and fat, body fat. Once you like, it's different for everybody. Some people have like certain areas that are hard to lose than others. For me, it's that like tire area that people call it. Like, oh, you got a spare tire, because it's like the fat that's around your waist and it's around your waist. It's above your waist, like your gut and your back. That's where I have the most fat right now. And that last little bit, it feels like your body literally is like, why are we losing this? This is our spare fat in case we starve. And so like losing weight for anybody, I think, is very difficult. There's some people who are naturally skinny, but then they have a hard time gaining muscle. So there's always like pros and cons, but what he did is insane, man. 250 pounds. Like there's a lot of people who will never lose more than half that in their lifetime because it's just that hard. So yeah, good for him. Hope he keeps it off. And I hope he takes the opportunity to like pivot his content, because if he keeps doing mukbangs, he's gonna slowly build it back up. It's impossible to outwork that much food. It's just not possible. You would have to literally be like, all right, we're done filming, and I still have all this food in my stomach, and now we got to go for a 5 hour run.
I will
You know what I
say,
mean?
yeah.
No way.
So you have like those competitive eaters, like Matt Stoney is one that I know of, where he will eat like a ton of food, and that guy is skinny, man. Like he'll be like, oh, I'm gonna eat everything on the McDonald's menu or whatever, right? Or he'll eat
Yeah.
like five meals, in like an hour, right?
Yeah.
Like he's done videos where he's eating like multiple pizzas in one sitting, and I'm like, Jesus, like I could never do that, right? And he's
Yeah.
still skinny, man. It's crazy.
He's talked about, a lot of those eaters have talked about how like, that's like all they eat for like 2 days is that what you see on camera. And then they exercise a lot. And then sadly, I've heard a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of things on Reddit, because I myself was like, how the, because I was doing the crumble cookies and I was like, dude, I feel like shit after eating that much sugar. Like it definitely makes it harder to maintain your weight when you're having that much sugar, because sugar spikes your insulin. It spikes when your blood sugar spikes, your body is like, okay, we have to use this energy that's in our blood, or we're storing it as fat because it has to go somewhere. And so your body is basically in the best case scenario for storing fat when you eat a bunch of sugar. And so sadly, what I've seen after doing some research is that a lot of those people who do those videos, after they're done recording, will go throw it up, or they will take laxatives so that their body just like shits it all out really quick. And like that is not healthy, and that definitely will lead to like, I mean, people who are bulimic and they vomit a lot of times they have problems with their throat because the acid, it like burns through their throat eventually.
It also ruins their teeth.
Ruins your teeth because it's so acidic. And then the laxative thing can really mess with your colon. Like a lot of people end up with like colon cancer and stuff from taking laxatives all the time. Like a lot of wrestlers and stuff like that will take laxatives to lose weight, to make weight, and like fighters and stuff, boxers, and they have problems with their digestive system because they abuse laxatives. Because it's a really good way to get rid of water weight. But I don't know, man. I don't think, even when I do the mukbangs for my second account, it's like a reasonable amount of food. It's still a lot of food, but it's like that's all I'm eating for the day, and it's like 2,000 calories.
This is wrong. It really is. But I want Taco Bell now.
I haven't had it. I haven't had it in over a month, and I miss it.
God.
People have been asking me like, how long am I doing keto for? I want to get down to. I want to lose another about 7 pounds, 7.5 pounds. I've already lost 7.5, so probably another month and a half to 2 months, maybe three. I'll be doing keto, but after that, I'm gonna just try and maintain my weight and maybe put some muscle on, like because I've lost a little muscle, but that's also because I haven't been like lifting weights for a year. I have been doing some like body weight squats, chin ups, push ups, ab exercises and stuff. So I'm definitely like toning myself again. But anyways, for our last uh major topic, I got a serious news story. Um, Toyota reports that 9% of their sales in 2018 were hybrids, and as of this year, it's 37%, and they expect 50% of their car sales to be hybrid by next year. So are hybrids the next step in car evolution? I think so.
I've thought that for a while. We just don't have
I
the
think it's happening
infrastructure.
faster than we thought.
We don't have the infrastructure for electric cars yet,
Right.
and that's a stance I've had for probably a couple years now. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing is, it's like, dude, if you try and get a Prius right now, it's so difficult.
Yeah. Well, so Bobby drives a Corolla crossover hybrid. So it's like a Corolla SUV type thing. They're talking about hybrid muscle cars. Like they just came out with one, like the Dodge Charger is a hybrid, and it makes engine noises through the speaker, which is so embarrassing.
Wait, that was a
Like,
hybrid that does that? I thought it was an electric car that does that.
I know they have a full electric one, and then I think they have one that has like a V6 in it or
Because I
something.
feel like
But there is no V8 Charger right now, and
I,
everybody's like, "What the fuck?"
I feel like the hybrid it should still make noise just fine. It's more so just that it has to be at a certain speed. If it's going like 20 miles an hour, it probably won't make any noise. But as soon as it goes past 35, it has to make noise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I talked to mom and dad about this and Bobby. Right now, like I said, the main priority is get a house. After that, I think we're going to trade Bobby's car in for a Highlander hybrid because she wants some more room and they have a third row of seats that we would just put down all the time. So we got all this storage space in the car. And it also has those like pilot seats like mom and dad's minivan has
Mm.
in the second row. And we only have 2 kids, so it's perfect. And then the dog can sit there in the middle if we have the dog with us. But I mean, that's like a $50,000 car, the hybrid with like bells and whistles. So she plans on on having a hybrid. For me, I don't have any interest in a hybrid Mustang, but I know they're probably coming. Honestly, what I'm thinking is they're talking about the V8s going away because all the all the environmental laws are what are killing V8 vehicles. Um, the thing that I'm thinking about doing is trying to get one of the last V8 Mustangs, and I think right now they won't be phasing them out until like 2030 or 2032 at the earliest. And so I'm like, okay, right around 2030, I might be trading my Mustang in, which is an inline 4-cylinder, for a V8, so that I could be one of those people who says I have one of the last true muscle cars with a V8 in it, and like that is something that I could hold on to and maybe even sell someday. And it might just be a weekend car, and I'll get myself a hybrid or a Mustang Mach-E to drive around as a commuter, you know, because I don't really drive as much,
The Mach-E.
but I like the way they look. I think they could be a lot better though. That's why I don't want one anytime soon. Or maybe I'll have the V8 and then I'll have a Mustang hybrid as my other car. Who knows? You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter right now. But the point is, I think hybrids are going to take over. I think hybrids have been around long enough that people know they're somewhat dependable. You know what I found out? And Scotty Kilmer, the guy who I mentioned last week, was the one who mentioned it. Chris, if you were to decide, okay, like Fiesta's dying on me because it's not gonna last forever, and you want to get a Toyota, if the Corolla hatchbacks are like one of the only Toyota cars that are still built in Japan, so they still hold up like the old Toyotas. Only the
Oh.
hatchback. Yeah, so there you go.
But do they have hybrids for that?
They have Corolla hybrids, but the Corolla hatchback still gets like 40 miles a gallon,
Oh.
which is pretty fucking good for a gasoline car. And they're zippy now.
See, I'd
But
have to
only
see how
only
much.
the hatchback is made in Japan.
I'd have to see how much they cost, because that's the only thing that stops me from getting a new car. Is I'm worried about the price. But because I know Priuses are like impossible to find, and then we were looking at Corolla hybrids.
For the SE Sport Edition, which is like the zippiest one that still gets good gas mileage, 23K. Pretty affordable in today's like market.
I'd have to see like what the
41 on the highway, 32 in the city.
I gotta figure out what my Fiesta gets. I love my little Fiesta though. Like I say that every single episode now, but I love my car. It's a piece of junk sometimes, but I love it. I tried out the sport mode on my car recently. It doesn't really do a whole lot. But
Hang on. What year is your car?
I think it's a 2018.
You're not even sure.
No, because I'm not even the one that like actually bought it. Mom and Dad bought it.
Yeah,
like,
no.
but I paid them
Okay.
for it.
So you say it's a zippy car, right? So it is a 4-cylinder, 1.6 liter. What do you know what model it is? Is it like
It's like the
this-
base model, dude.
okay? Because it's showing me the ST, and I'm
This
like,
this
definitely
episode's
don't
already
have
an
the
hour and a half
ST.
long. We don't need to get into this right
it's
now.
fine. It's fine. I mean, it says if you have the sport one, it's 0 to 60 in 9.1 seconds, which is pretty fucking slow. But I mean, it's enough. It's definitely enough. And I think the Corolla is like 6 seconds or something like that. So it's zippier and like, you know, but I didn't, anyways, like you said, we'll move on because who cares about the gas mileage. But the other thing they said is that Toyota is looking into making every single one of their vehicles a hybrid in the near future. They're investigating that. Right now, 7 of their vehicles are only available as hybrids now. And I think the Camry is one of them now or something. So that's a pretty
Camry?
big thing. Yeah, and then the Corolla is getting a plug-in hybrid next year. And they're saying plug-in hybrids could be the training wheels for EVs, you know, because you still have to plug them in. And they have like a little gasoline engine to like give you some extra range. But I think that's really interesting. I think hybrids are great. Like, I mean, so like the Highlander we were looking at has like a 600-mile range. Like that means you could drive like 6 hours on a road trip without stopping, and that's insane. You know, they're gonna have to start giving you like a toilet in the car so that you don't have to stop.
That's gross, man.
Dude, I saw Scotty Kilmer was talking about an old RV that would literally like shoot the shit and piss out the exhaust.
Someone's behind
like-
you. I'm just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it literally just shoots like shit at your windshield.
That's so gross, man.
Yeah, that's nasty. I can't believe that was a thing.
Actual
All right.
India RV.
Yeah, but I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think like are you thinking about buying a hybrid? Like, is it like I think hybrids are really good for cars. If you're looking for something that's just affordable, gets you really good fuel economy, and honestly, hybrids are getting faster, man. Those little electric motors, they're really tapping into the power that they give you.
Yeah.
My wife's Corolla crossover. I was like, the first time I drove, I was like, damn, this thing will move because the torque from those electric motors really gets you going. So it's impressive, and I think it should be the future. I think unless you're specifically buying a car for performance, like there's no reason why you shouldn't have a hybrid.
Oh
They're
man, I'm
fast
so
enough
happy
now.
that my car can go 0 to 60 in 0.9 seconds, but I can only drive 35 max through the city.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna end off the episode with our recommendations this week. No movies to recommend this week. Like I said, Beetlejuice didn't blow me away enough to be like, yo, you gotta go see it. Definitely go see Strange Darling if it's still playing by you. But I have 2 things to recommend. One is an app, and one is a YouTube channel. So speaking of Beetlejuice, I drank a lot of liquid beforehand, and I had to pee like I peed during the trailers, and then I had to pee during the movie. And if you're somebody who is like, I hate going to the movies because if I have to pee, I miss something. I can't pause it like I'm at home. I have a solution for that. And it's been around for a while, and I find myself using it more and more. There's an app called RunP, and it is an app where it will literally tell you the best times during a movie to go pee, and like you won't miss anything exciting. Some movies will be like, oh, there's not a great time to go pee, but what they do is they give you a little synopsis of what you miss during that time, and usually they give you about 3 minutes, so it gives you like a little 3 minute window to go to the bathroom. So, but when I go to a movie, I'll literally like open the app and it'll like update the app in the app like real quick. It'll be like, oh, downloading Run P times for all these new movies, and then it'll have like at least 2 or 3 times for you to go to the bathroom. And what I'll do, because I mean, women could do this too. I don't know why I thought, oh, like I'm a guy, so when I'm at the urinal, I read it. But if you're sitting on the toilet, you can read it too. But literally, I read the synopsis while I'm peeing, and then I go back in the movie, and a lot of times I get there before that part of the movie ended. So like I can go sit down, and I'm not like, oh, I'm missing something, like highly recommend it if you go to the movies a lot, or you're somebody who I don't know, one of your biggest gripes is, oh, I always miss something when I have to go to the bathroom because I can't pause it. So Run P, download it, great app, use it all the time. Technology is awesome. And then the other thing, Matt Moran Motoring is a YouTube channel that I got into back when I first thought about getting a Mustang. He's always been a Mustang guy. He does car reviews and also like car news videos, and I love his car news videos because that's where I hear stuff about like the hybrids and stuff we were just talking about. And it made me kind of sad. I was like, this guy's channel doesn't do as well as it used to. And he had an EcoBoost Mustang. He had like a 2015, and he was talking about how like, oh, they're coming out with the Bullet Mustang for like the 50th anniversary or whatever it was, right? And he got the Bullet Mustang. And then I stopped watching him because his stuff was mostly about Mustangs because he had a Mustang. And then when I got my Mustang, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Let me go see how he's doing. And the first video I watched was him having to sell his Bullet Mustang because his channel wasn't doing well anymore.
Oh.
And it made me so sad to listen to that video and like how his stuff had like not done as well. But he's like, he's like, my choice is to either get a job and have to post less or sell the Mustang because it's worth 45,000 and continue making videos at the rate I am and try some different content and try to get the channel doing well again. And I respect the fact that he chose to let go of the Mustang so much because I knew when I bought mine that like that's something that could happen someday if everything goes to shit, which is always a possibility as a content creator. But again, I think it also plays into the idea that like you can't put all your eggs in one basket. I think he put all his eggs in the YouTube basket, and so that's what happened. But go check out Matt Moran Motoring. He does really interesting, cool car reviews. Like he was comparing the Mustang EcoBoost that I have to like a Toyota ETRS or something because they're like similar price points, and so it was really cool to see somebody compare two cars that are like completely different but similar. Like he just makes really good content and seems like a really nice guy. And I honestly would love to try and get him on Creators Unite in the future. So I think I would love to talk to him about Mustangs and the state of the car industry. I don't know if I could get Scotty Kilmer on because he doesn't seem like he really likes to do appearances like that. He makes so much damn content. He's just grinding it, and he's a mechanic, so he's actually working and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So Run P app and Matt Moran Motoring.
So I have an idea. So I'm gonna make the Run Poo app, and it's gonna be specifically like 10 minutes where you can go take a dump, and it's just gonna be the beginning and the end.
Before and after the movie. Yeah. Or no, like the most important parts, the opening sequence and the climactic ending. Or the resolution. I don't know. They're making a sequel. I missed that part. I missed the ending. I thought he died.
I'm gonna recommend the Act Man as the YouTube channel that I think people should go and watch, just because that guy, like, he makes a lot of really good videos about just like why games did well and why games failed, and it really tells you more about like, okay, like why did I enjoy this game so much, right? And why do these newer games just not feel the same way? Like he nails that down. The big thing was when he explained World at War. I was like, oh, that's why I like this game so much, because it feels so gritty, like it feels legit. And now when you go to like Call of Duty Vanguard. It's like, oh yeah, we have laser guns, and I'm like, what are we doing here? So that part of his channel is really good, but also he, and I don't know if he's always done this or if this is just lately, but he started talking more about like, a little bit of YouTube drama and stuff like that, and he's been kind of covering the Mr. Beast stuff as it has like big updates, and he, like he has a good way of explaining stuff for like his video game videos, and so when he starts talking about like actual news stories, that same way of like storytelling, it translates really well, and I get a really clear idea of what's actually going on, and it helps me stay really informed on that stuff. So um, I would say definitely check out the Act Man on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen his stuff before. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode. Look forward to next week. We should have Jorge back and Ben as well. I think they'll be really fun to have on together. I have not reached out to him about it yet. Probably do that. But that as of right now, that's the plan. If not, we'll figure something else out. But Danny Dorito 23 on everything, guys. If for some reason you don't follow me on Twitter, go follow me there. Letterboxd. Buy some G Fuel with code Danny D. Get some Fit Butters. Join our Patreon. And if you finish this episode and you want to hear me talk more, I was interviewed on a New Mexico radio podcast called CinemaScope last week, and that aired yesterday on the radio. And now you can go listen to it like a podcast. So I'll put the link to that in the comments. Got to talk about my journey as a filmmaker and how I got into content creation and the Coast Guard and stuff. So it was really interesting to share some more personal details about my journey. And it's 26 minutes, so it's a really quick listen. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week for episode 50. Peace.
Later.